Yo, what's going on, guys? And yes, Dean Wade, the man from K-State, longtime Cavaliers. This is a team that's, almost $25 million over the second apron, looking for ways to reduce that hit. And the Dallas Mavericks, if they do this deal, yes, it technically puts them 5.3 million over the second apron, which is fine. They can still find ways to get off that money by making this a three-team trade where like a guy like Jaden Hardy or a Martin is moved to a third team and they dump that salary and then just send draft assets to the Cavaliers, and then they just take on Dean Wade and are able to save $1 or $2 million and remain under the first apron. Same thing, they can also package Brandon Williams in there and save him more money. But the Mavericks are interested in Dean Wade. He would basically be a combo forward backup for both Cooper Flagg and Anthony Davis. It makes complete sense in my opinion. So before we start today's video, let me hear your thoughts down below. Guys, I mentioned look at my hands and everything. I'm right now moving offices like out of my guest bedroom into a drive-through bank that has been vacant for 2 years. So Mr. Home Improvements over here, Tim Allen, used that joke once already, did it twice. It's, I'm a one-trick pony over here, beating that horse dead, as they say. But I want to hear your thoughts. I'd like to hear them in the comment section. If you're the Mavericks, would you go out and get Dean Wade? I'm assuming like a second-round pick. It's more so you're doing a service salary cap wise because they're trying to do some cap gymnastics, the Cavaliers, if they go out of the second apron, while the Mavericks are just, improving on the margins, getting a backup. So what is the report that regarding the Mavericks, who are hoping to remain in contender status, or what they believe is contender status, while Kyrie Irving recovers from an injury and, they bring Cooper Flagg up to speed, number one pick. Dean Wade would be a guy that Dallas, who has long had an admiration for him, is pushing hard for the 6'9" combo forward who has been buried in the Cleveland front court. Now, if we look at all the news and chatter, it makes a lot of sense to me because this is a team, and just in general, everybody would like a guy like Dean Wade. He's on an affordable contract. He can guard 3, 4, 5, maybe even some big twos. He can play the 3 or the 4, even some small ball 5 and stretches. He's a career 37% from deep, which is great. He's on a team-friendly deal that expires at $6.6 million that fits on almost any cap sheet across the league. And Dallas more than likely values the fact that he can be plug and play, fit next to Anthony Davis and Cooper Flagg, or back him up, as Davis can be the 5, Cooper can be the 4 or 3, and same thing with Wade, which allows him to come off the bench or play alongside him in different type of units, as then he can be kind of this utilitarian type player that they really would like to have and benefit from using. So next, I think the biggest thing right here, also, do you guys like the new color and layout? I thought it makes it a little bit better because, I don't know, I feel special. But Cleveland sits, as I mentioned, over $20 million, about 25. I think it's like 230, maybe 227. Either way, they're over the second apron. They're projected to be a repeater next year. Re-signing Wade in unrestricted free agency would trigger those harsh second apron penalties. So if they can get out of that second apron by mid-season, which they have to by the end of this league cap year to avoid those penalties, then that just seems like the most logical thing that they would do as a result, which makes Dean Wade probably a lot cheaper than he normally would be, as they have long wanted to keep him. Now, we've mentioned before, I do believe he is a perfect fit for the Dallas Mavericks. They need someone behind PJ Washington and Cooper Flagg, and he's kind of that defensive first forward, which would work with PJ Washington, Cooper Flagg, Mr. Anthony Davis, Derek Lively, Daniel Gafford, and company making up the team right there, which allow them to go even, smaller ball. They have D'Lo. And I like the fact that Dean Wade always been a guy who's had a low usage rate. He's got a great corner 3 shot, and he has the ability to guard wings and small ball 5s, and that's going to complement the type of offense that they want to run. So let me hear you guys' thoughts on that one. So just as a roundabout way to end this on a different note, as I've arrived home, I do believe that this is a solid pickup. And what should we expect? First off, Cleveland's probably going to look for a multi-team trade, as we mentioned earlier. They don't want to take salary back, as if they do this deal, they'll probably sign Mr. Victor Oladipo to the minimum, which is like $3 million, which is league subsidized from third year of service, which last year was 1.8, so it's probably at most 2, probably 1.9 and some change, which would only mean it'd be a 1.1 cap hit replacing Dean Wade. So I doubt, like, best case scenario, it's picks plus prospect, but it's probably picks plus salary dump to a third team like the Nets. And if the right offer appears, I think the Cavs are able to extract whatever value they can get instead of losing Dean Wade uncompensated in free agency. So that's basically all my thoughts right here regarding this situation, with Dean Wade potentially being a target of the Dallas Mavericks. As I mentioned, I think it would be a solid fit for this team. And with D'Angelo Russell, Klay Thompson, Cooper Fly, Anthony Davis, and Derek Lively looking as the more than likely starting lineup, I think Caleb Martin would be the guy that they would probably want to salary dump. If not Caleb Martin, maybe a Dwight Powell as the other guy, with a combination of a Brandon Williams whose contract isn't guaranteed. To me, I think that's a really good solution, especially with Jaden Hardy, D'Angelo Russell, Dante Exum, Ryan Nembhard making up their point guard rotation in the interim as they wait to figure out how long Kyrie Irving is going to be out. I think where we see this situation is that that's probably the best way to go about remedying it if they were trying to get Dean Wade put into there, because now you replace Caleb Martin, you have D'Angelo Russell, Thompson, Cooper Fly, Davis, Lively as the starting lineup, Gafford, PJ Washington, Dean Wade, Najee Marshall, Jaden Hardy, Dante Exum, and Max Christie as your next 12-man rotation with 7 guys potentially off the bench that can play basketball. I think that's something that they'll value tremendously. And yeah, for him to be an expiring that they could probably retain in free agency. The microphone, my phone died, so the microphone, that's why you're going to see this complete change. But either way, if you made it to the end of the video, I hope you guys did enjoy. Clearly, you enjoy this type of content. Hit that like and subscribe button. It helps out the channel a ton. And I'd like to hear what you guys have to say, as your opinion means a lot to me. Cheers, guys.